brought to you by our friends over at Merit Clubs. Howdy. But, Zach, because we're going to do it quick, but how you doing, my friend? Orioles, you wake up, whammy. The first trade happens, but maybe it's not the player you expected that was going to be on the move.
Yeah, definitely not. For a lot of Orioles fans, and like myself, they saw the notification the Baltimore Orioles are trading Bryan Baker to division rival Tampa Bay Rays in pretty much the first deal, I'm going to call it, of the deadline, because now it feels like, okay, we have valuable assets being traded. It's not under, no guys that are, minor leaguers, no players to be named later. But I think this trade kind of marks the beginning of, I don't want to call it the sell, but I think of evaluating value, because they got the opportunity. I don't think they were, and I said this earlier today, I don't think they were shopping Bryan Baker, but the opportunity to get a first-round pick, compensatory pick, number 37, is something they did not think was possible. So when they got it, it's hard to turn that down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and look, so to take you behind all the scenes, and Zach, actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to throw this one video in because it's Tony Manzolino was talking about the front office and the organization, the players and the coaching staff of where it is. I just bookmarked it on Twitter. So if you can download that, would be great. Because of the context of this whole thing. So, yeah, Bryan Baker's on the move, and the reports and Bryan Baker, sad because he loved being a Baltimore Oriole, right? It was a little bit stunning. Not that the move is stunning that you're trading guys, right? We want to make that clear. It's not that the move is stunning, but you're leaving a place where you felt like you're finding a rhythm. And for the Orioles, though, when you look at value, let's look at the business. You essentially turn Bryan Baker into a first-round pick. You get the comp pick, 37th overall in the draft. That's why it's done this early, because the draft is just a few days away, Zach. So if you want that pick, it has to be done now. And what the Rays get, and this is what the Rays do really well, and if you guys saw a short I put out on YouTube last night, I'm very high on how the Rays operate for what they are. And it's a very damn good team. And they say, you know what, Bryan Baker has 3 more years of control, and the Rays do a great job with developing their pitchers. So he's going to a spot where they're going to be competing to win the AL East, competing to go to the playoffs, whammy. But you have to move on. And I don't know what the next domino pieces will be. And that's actually, Zach, do you have that clip from Tony Manzolino available?
Yes, I do, if it would download.
Well, give me a thumbs up when you're
there. We go. We got it.
Ready? Okay, so Tony Manzolino then was asked about how the front office making moves, what it means for the team this year and beyond. So let's play his clip from the media before the game today.
Do you still think that it's possible for this team to play well enough over the next 3 weeks to put the front office in a position to either not sell at the deadline or maybe even be buyers?
Well, we have a really smart group in the front office. I by no means do I think that they're trying to cash in this year or next year or anything like that. I think they're trying to figure out how to win this year and how to win next year with whatever move that they're making. So, and the players know that, and the staff knows that. So, however this thing goes, it's with the idea that we want to win games this year and we want to win games next year and going forward, and put the organization in a strong position to continue to succeed the way we have the last couple of years.
So if you couldn't hear that, he's essentially saying the front office is thinking about winning not just this year, but next year. Now we know they're going to have to do some historic things here, Zach. Historic. Yeah. That happens here. People are going to be taking some deep eddy shots left and right, having some orange crushes, having the time. But if you're being realistic, you got to see what the value is out there. Zach, if I had told you a year ago, 2 years ago, that the Orioles could turn Bryan Baker into a essential first-round pick, you would have laughed. You would have thought that was outrageous, because most of the Baltimore fan base was out on Bryan Baker as a pitcher. Also goes to show you how quickly things can turn around.
I mean, Ryan, I'll go one step further. If you would have told me that they got a first-round pick for Bryan Baker 2 months ago, I'd be like, what? I mean, this is the sell high. You are trying to say this is where his value peaked, and that's why I keep saying he's under contract, no options, but under contract through 2029. I don't believe they were shopping him. I truly believe that this was a situation where the Orioles got an offer that they physically couldn't refuse. There's a price on everyone. And when the Rays came to them and said, we'll give you pick 37, that happens in 5 days. I know people are like, why didn't you wait for, maybe a bidding war, see something happen? Draft doesn't happen after the deadline. Draft happens Sunday. So you have to go. You got an opportunity to turn Bryan Baker into a first-round pick. And Kevin and I talked about this, reacting to the trade earlier today. We're not going to know who won this trade for 3 years. It's one of those when the first-round pick, when a pick, lower-end guys, lower-level guys trade, you're not going to know for a little bit. So this trade, I think, is great value for the Orioles. And I think overall, once the deadline's done, if they can still get some ready pieces, meaning guys that are in AAA, maybe Major League ready, that can help in 2026 as well, then you're going to look back on that and go, wow, what a steal that you're able to get a first-round pick there.
Oh, my goodness. And look, Bryan Baker, I hope nothing but the best for that dude, especially, and I've told this, and I got the soft spot for the players, because once you get in the business of the game, because guess what? You go to whatever your job is, that's a business. You play professional baseball, that's a business. And yeah, fans, when you can root for your team, that's the fun part, but you can also agonize over it. But in the business, the guys, in an instant, your career can change, and it might not be where you want it to be. So for Bryan Baker, he looked like he was on the outside looking in with the birds. Injuries happened. He makes the team. Look what happens, and now his career can continue to ascend, going to a Tampa Bay Rays team, which as of right now, and that's fluctuating back and forth, have won the 3rd/4th most games in Major League Baseball over the last 15 years. So you want to talk about production, you want to talk about getting it right. This is really good for Bryan Baker.